Central Guinea Pig Rescue.
Hi Cavi peeps, it's Lynn here. Tonight I wanted to talk with you about a topic which has crept up a little bit called bumblefoot. Bumblefoot is something that occurs with guinea pigs and it causes enormous issues, and the more you learn about it, the more it will help your care of guinea pigs that you have. So let's take a further look into what bumblefoot is. Bumblefoot is essentially a swelling of the foot pad that occurs because of a number of different circumstances. It's usually a swelling which will then eventually turn into an abscess and infection. At that point it can go further into the bone, and this sadly can result in amputation and even death. So the initial prognosis of bumblefoot is something that you need to pick up quite quickly if you're going to then help a guinea pig before it can get to that latter stage. Okay, so bumblefoot, why does it occur with guinea pigs? Essentially, they have no fur on their feet. No guinea pigs do. They have skin. So it occurs because there's damage or pressure points direct to the feet on the skin surface of the guinea pig. And there's a number of ways this can happen. Most commonly, people will talk about wire floor caging, but I'm going to elaborate on a lot of that more so in a moment. So guinea pig paws, let's have a look. I've got some little paws there that you can see, and Shani has really great looking feet. So guinea pig paws should be pink. The symmetry should be the same from foot to foot and front paw to front paw, and they're very slender in their shape, and again fully unfurred. And you'll see a slight little bit of tinge of pink to the feet, which is quite okay, quite normal. But it's where this starts to become a very red, swollen foot. And you can see the width of her little foot here, the heel part. I have seen that area on guinea pigs to be at least an inch in width. So to give you an idea of how swollen and how bad bumblefoot can be, at its worst, it can be enormous, and there's no mistaking the problem in that instance. So why does it occur? So we know that their skin is directly in contact with the surface area. Most people will say guinea pigs can't be housed on wire flooring, and that's absolutely correct, because if you imagine a paw walking directly onto wire, the pressure points are too severe that it can cause soreness and eventual swelling across the pad of the paw. This over time can become exacerbated through minor cuts, the pressure points, as well as swelling and infection, and of course that is what we call bumblefoot. What people often don't recognize is that keeping guinea pigs on hard flooring surfaces can create the exact same scenario. So I've had guinea pigs come in where they have been kept just on paper, and people have the full intention of keeping their animals really clean, changing the paper 3 or 4 times a day. But the problem is that flooring, if the paper is on a hard surface, it's a bit like us walking on a constant tiled surface without the use of slippers or any shoe wear. So our feet would become very sore as well. So where you have guinea pigs on solid floored surfaces, whether there's paper on there or not, that can also cause bumblefoot. I've had numerous cases of this in the past. One that comes to mind is a guinea pig who was sharing a cage which, I'll see if I can dig out some photos of it. It was quite a castle confined in wire, and I've never seen anything quite like it, but the guinea pigs were trapped within it, and one little guinea pig simply wasn't allowed to be on certain areas of the cage. The other guinea pigs were keeping him away from that, and the only place he could be was within a squared, staired area, little tiny squares. They were little tiny rungs of a wooden platform. And he had severe bumblefoot because constantly he was having to sit on those hard squared edges constantly. That was his location. So Yeah, bear in mind that hard flooring can result in bumblefoot. Now, in both of these instances where we talk about hard flooring and we talk about wired floor surfaces, the bumblefoot that occurs typically can be seen on all four paws, because the animal in all four areas is being stressed and the feet are being exposed to those sorts of substrates. So in that situation, you would know that it's resulting from the substrate that they're walking on as opposed to an injury, which is the third cause of bumblefoot. Now, when we talk about injuries or problems with the guinea pig, they can be numerous. But for example, an open cut on the pad of one foot can cause bumblefoot because it's an open wound where infection can start to brew, and of course the foot becomes sore, the pad becomes sore. It just leads to infection, which of course is bumblefoot. It can also be as a result of a sprain, not necessarily on the pad that has been injured, but it could also be on another limb. So it could be a hip injury, for example. So in this instance, where an animal had sustained, say, a hip injury in the past, to walk in a way that it needs to, it will compromise its weight balance differently. So the pressure points on the pad will change as a result of the injury to the body. Now, in that sort of circumstance, whether it's a cut, whether it's a body injury, whether it's a sprain on some part of the guinea pig, you will find that the injury, the bumblefoot, is occurring on one pad or perhaps two. So it's more localized, it's more uniquely identified, and by examining the animal and looking at the symmetry of the animal, the symmetry of the limbs, the swelling of the muscles, the way that the animal moves, we can identify where the problem is and where the weight-bearing issue has then changed to compensate how that little guinea pig needs to move. And that's the third cause for bumblefoot. So bumblefoot is horrendous. If you find that you have a guinea pig that's suffering great swelling of the limb, or in fact infection, anything that looks like an abscess, extraordinary, it's impairing its ability to move, this is a veterinary call. You do need to seek help with this, because depending on the level of severity, there are many things that need to be done for an animal with bumblefoot.